All right, continuing on the JTR series. If you haven't watched the rest of it, make sure to go check out the introduction where I put all the subwoofers together. I had these subs in a box. It's because I knew I would come here and share you my home theater. So my house is, 3,100 square feet, of which 400 square feet of that, let's see, this room's 27 by 12, whatever that math is, 300 and something square feet, is upstairs here in what I call my office theater. And so you can hear, it's I did a decent job. I have the cloud above me, so I have big monster bass traps and GIK on the ceiling. I have the 242 or 244 bass traps. So these are, 5¼ thick on the sides. And then I have this big plush Pottery Barn carpet with the Lazy Boy couch, lots of pillows. So this room is, pretty decent. Sounds pretty good. I feel like I got it just right. I didn't kill it, because one of the things you can do with too much acoustic treatment is you can kill it. And because it's the second floor, I get that tactile feel of my subwoofers. And so while I'm messing with the subwoofer here today, I'll kind of tell you about the 2400. This will be a little different video than the rest of the series, where I just kind of showed it to you in our lab, or in my HQ setup lab. I want to put some feet on these guys. So the 2400 has the same 18-inch driver as the others, the high excursion. I got this wrong in the other video. There's 36 millimeters of X-Max, which equates to 1.77 inches or so. It has the same 18 millimeter thick Baltic birch, which Jeff chooses that because of its ability to sort of reduce resonance or vibration. This sucker weighs 100 million pounds, so I've got to move it. But I put some feet on this, and I want to try something here. Put something a little bit better on the subwoofer. But this is not what they call the ULF version, ultra low frequency. This is the bass, bass version of the bass driver. It is, I got my tape measure here so I can give you a dimension. It is, I believe, 20. Yeah, so it's just shy or right at 20 inches wide. That's why I chose the 2400, because I originally thought that these would be going in the wall. It turns out that there's like a staggered truss design, and so I don't have the room to fit it. And so it turned out okay, and then I put them here, and I put my speakers on top of them. So right now, without any feet on it, little pad, it's roughly 29.5 tall, 29.75 tall, and then the subwoofer is 22.5 inches deep. And it is a beast. And I have two of them. Remember, I told you in the other video that you should do two. Two will help with dispersion. If you can do four, even better. You always want to try to get as many subwoofers as you can fit in the room. Not so much for the amplitude. I'm running these suckers at volume level 1, 2, 3. So like 3.5 clicks is what I have them set up as. And it destroys this room. I'll play it for you in a minute. But what I want to do here, I want to try to decouple this from the floor a little bit. And so I'm going to put some Iso Acoustics Stage 1 feet. I put these little pads on here. So I got to get some more light in this room. I've got the fixtures. We just have to do the work. I'm putting like 10 more light fixtures in here. Let me just get you the specs on the 2400 so we can knock that out, and then we can do this little project here together. So 18 inches, 2400 watt amplifier. You want to see the amp? It's right here. So the amp is on the top of the 2400. Again, I have it upside down because of the feet. So same 4 amp, 2400 watt amplifier. I believe it's public knowledge that these are made for JTR specifically by Speaker Power out in California. So our friend Rigo, I think, helps Jeff with this stuff a lot. And we're actually working with Speaker Power to possibly develop an amplifier for the home theater. But you have your volume knob here. I have this upside down on you. I should show this when I flip it over. We have our low frequency trim or adjustment, which we're not going to use because if you had a small room, you would use this. or if you are outdoors, you may need to do some adjustment. You have your crossover, which we're not going to use because we're going to do that all in Dirac. And then we have our delay, which we're not going to use. We're going to do that in Dirac as well. XLR in, XLR loop, which we're not using. So I'm running this XLR in. I'm running it in auto mode, and I'm not running a trigger wire to it. The signal sensing is really good on these. So what we're going to do here, because I have these speakers set up over here like this. Let me explain myself here because you're going to think I'm stupid. So, again, my original intention, I had bought 4 of these. My original intention was to put the subwoofers in the wall, right? Build a little enclosure. Who knows how long I'm going to be here. Hopefully, at some point, I've been looking at some acreage that I get, approved to buy some acreage, about 10 or 20 acres down the street here. And so I decided, rather than cutting the room apart and trying to figure out how to do a sister truss, and it was a huge project, I said, why don't I just stick these things in the corner, and then why don't I get a couple more of this is the 210 center channel, 210 reference center channel. I think it's called 210 HTR, I believe. So this has the reference 3-way setup, so it has the mid-range and the horn, and then it has the 210-inch drivers. And then what are floor standing speakers, these are the RMs, which I had just custom made quickly for me because these are still hard to get. I think we have some in stock right now, but generally these are 3-4 month build time. So he rushed ordered them for me, and I was like, man, what am I going to do with these? I threw the boxes away, and because I knew that I wanted them, and so when I couldn't put the subwoofers in the wall, I said, why don't I just flip them upside down? And I actually really like it this way. I think it looks cool. It's ridiculous. And this is my room up here. I certainly wouldn't do this in the living room. That's why downstairs I have my insane Perlisten system, which is super pretty. I like having both. But anyway, this setup actually works well. So what I want to do is put some Iso Acoustics feet. So we're going to do these Iso Acoustics Stage 1. Now these are rated for 200 pounds for a set of 4. And so I'm going to put a set of 6, so theoretically I'd be at 300 pounds. Because going back to the specs I was about to read off for you, 2400, I showed you the amplifier, it's 30 by 20 by 22 and a half, 148 pounds for the subwoofer, okay, so then that leaves me 52 pounds, and so if I theoretically have 300 pounds of capacity, I can fit the 210 reference monitors as well. 5-year manufacturer warranty, the amplifier is 3 years, and it has the really awesome, matte black finish. 18 millimeter, 13 ply, void-free Baltic birch, several times stronger and more expensive than MDF, medium density fiberboard. And the frequency response on these is 12 hertz to 165 with in-room response below 10 hertz. So 148 pounds for these, and then let me go back to speakers. Let's see what the weight of the 210 RMs. Yeah, this is the 210 RM reference monitor, and then these are the 210 RTs. And the 210 RT is 125 pounds, so we're good. So is that 150, so 275, I'm 270, 273. So I theoretically should be good to go. Now, I bought these as well. So these are from Iso Acoustics, and these are pucks that I'm going to put in between these two to isolate. Because what I have noticed, the speaker does walk a little bit. So it will move a little bit when I'm really jamming on the system. And so I'm putting these guys in. You can see this here. Let me get a little closer. I'll show you a close-up of these, but these are 32 pounds capable, I believe, each. So 32 pounds. So I'm right at the edge because the tower speakers are 125. So what is that? 128. So I got 3 pounds of capacity. I was going to do 5, but you know, I'm right at the edge there. These things seem pretty stout, so I'm going to decouple this a little bit from the room, but not completely. So anyway, I got to pull these little pads off of here. That brings you up to speed. I'm giving you some bonus footage here. This is a project that I've been thinking about doing for a while, and so you're going to get to hang out with me while I do this. I think this is the tool that I use most in my life. But this is a skin wedge tool. If you're a home theater guy, and if you do any kind of projects on anything, I have these in the Seth's Garage store, sethsgarage.com. I'll put a link in the description. But these guys, I use more than anything. Oh, shoot. Dang it. I was kind of hoping this would come off a little cleaner than that. I don't want that to stay like that. So I might have to go get some Goo Gone here. Some Carpo Tarex or something to get the rest of this off. Shoot. It came off of the tower speakers much better. So these stage 1 feet, these actually bolt in or screw into place. So make sure that's big enough to cover. So since these are going to stay permanent, I'm going to just put these on like so. So again, my plan is to do 6 of them, but let's just kind of lay this out. Let's mock this up here. Chase, don't do that, buddy. Give me this thing. Don't chew that up. This dog is a people dog, man. He just wants to be where the people are. So we'll pre-drill a little pilot on these. This is actually going to get my tweeter a little closer to optimum height as well. It was a little bit low. I love having these subwoofers up here on the 2nd floor, other than my fear that my expensive cars are down underneath here. So I think I should do it like this, Chase. So if I put these on the edges, right out there like that, put these all the same. I don't have to worry about getting that adhesive off and damaging my finish. And then I'm going to measure this out, tape this out. If I put these 2 in the middle, 3/32 pilot bit. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought this was going to hit like this. Let's see. I need to go get a little extension. Okay. I'll grab my vacuum. Keep this a nice organized setup here. Do this really well. Okay. H2. I love this Pottery Barn carpet here. All these rooms, all these different setups that I do, all that knowledge eventually is going to get me the perfect setup someday. But I sure am enjoying the pursuit. Nothing better. You know, making all these videos on the JTR subwoofers is like my darn dream. And the byproduct is that I end up with a pretty decent body of knowledge on all this stuff. All right, so I'm going to put these all in. And then put these 4 edges in. I'll come back to you. Show you the middle. Yeah. This is going to be great. Now, because of the weight of this, I'm going to have to be careful putting this into position. Then I'll pull these screws out. Although these grabbing in Baltic birch should be pretty substantial. All right, so center line, drew a line straight. I put the holes line up on the line, so they're straight. And I came in 5 inches. Pretty simple. I'll drill my pilot, drill my little scribe whatevers, and then we'll drill it completely, and we'll screw it in. We'll pull the tape, vacuum it, screw it in. Done. Not bad, not bad. And then I've theoretically got 300 pounds of capacity. You're going to get some bonus footage of some figuring it out. I'm not looking forward to picking up that 125 pound 210. I'm trying to get it into position. That's not going to be fun. Turn the Iso Acoustics out like that. Okay, roll this sucker into position. These stage 1 Iso Acoustics I'll put in the description as well. But if you're buying the subwoofers, go to obsessedhometheater.com, and then you'll have to buy the Iso Acoustics in another spot until I get them up on the home theater store. I'm at obsessedgarage.com. Okay, so now I'm not going to be able to move this around as easily, so I need to get this roughly in position here. Not bad. Nice. Perfect. Now comes the hard part, which would be easy if I had some help, but I don't. This here, you'll see why in a minute, because that way I can slide it around. This part sucks. Especially with the chaos of working out I've done this week. That's when you know you got a solid peak. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is get this thing exactly where I want it. So I want it pretty far forward on the subwoofer because I don't want reflections coming off the top of it. So I want it something like that. Just shy of 4 inches. That's pretty darn good. Make sure the Iso Acoustics is facing backwards. See, I'm getting smarter in my old age. Put the towel down, slide it into position. Whew, yeah, that's good. That's real good. It's very clearly able to hold this, no problem. The only thing... Yep, that's the ticket. So now we have some decoupling. Hopefully. And we'll find out if it falls. No, I think it's super stout now. And the vibration of it means it's not going to flop around. And now it looks like it's complete. I like that. You know, it looks nice. So you can see the feet just slightly. Makes the speakers look a little bit more finished. What do you think? Nice. So you can't tell that speaker's upside down. Looks like it's meant to go that way. I dig it, man. So Bryce's buddy Seth Baker gave us permission to use his music, so I don't get copyrighted here. This is the song Daydreamer on Spotify. All right, everybody, that's a wrap on this one. I'm going to come up with a conclusion at the end of all this. So we have, let's see, I've got the intro video, the exit video, so the final video. So there's 2. And then I have 9 subwoofers to play with. So I'll make 9 individual subwoofer videos, I think. I may put some of them together. So probably, let's say, 6 individual subwoofer videos. So the series will be, say, 8 to 10 episodes. So stay tuned. If you're interested in buying one of these subwoofers, I'll come with my conclusions. And I can't come up with those conclusions until I've listened to them all, played with them all, moved them around, unboxed them, reboxed them, go through this process of discovery. So I am doing this in person, and I'm doing this with dollars that we spent. And we are going to have some valuable information on which one of these to get. But there is something magical about the way that these things, I don't know if you want to say they're voiced, but just the impact that you get. I still may end up putting 2, they're coming out with a small compact Kalos subwoofer, so that'll be another subwoofer video I'll have to make when the Kalos is fully launched. But I may put 2 12s in the back of the room to kind of give me even a little bit more balance. But the 2 on the left and right, the impact I get in my chest, I can feel the floor. The only thing I worry about are the lights underneath here falling on my cars. But anyway, hope that was helpful for you if you're considering JTR. If you're not considering it, as long as you can overcome the look, the feel, the fit, the finish, the solidness of it. As long as you can deal with how they look in a room like this, to me, it makes sense. It makes me excited. It's when I walk in this room and I see these speakers, it just gives me a smile. And especially as good as the 110s are. I had never considered doing the JTR towers until I heard them in Michael's Theater. And they're incredible. So anyway, go to Youthman channel for more detailed, more entertaining stuff. Here, we intend to do straight out of camera, minimal editing, straight to the point, but we're sharing this as an owner, from an ownership experience perspective, or a trial and error perspective, rather than from the vantage point of a reviewer. I guess technically Rusty bought these speakers. Our business, Obsessed Home Theater, I bought these speakers. These I bought, but we bought together all of I took the risk to buy all these subwoofers. I don't have an open box 2400, but I do have open box others. If you're watching this, hit me up, Matt at obsessedgarage.com. I'll get you a sweet deal on ones that we opened up and listened to, twice. Anyway, thanks for watching, and many more videos coming in my home theater up here. I have the MadVR NV Core, which is the HDR processor. I've got the Marantz AB20. I've got the Buckeye, both typical Class D, the Hypex module Class D, and then I've got the Purify Class D module amplifier to talk about here and review. I'm sure I'll talk about the 110s that I have all around, the 210s and the 110s I have all around the room. So more to come. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon.